Amen. So I have a video response to the Revolting Woman video on women's modesty, and it has something to do with blue jeans and makeup or something. I don't remember what the exact title is. And I asked her on an earlier attempt to film this. She's right behind that, the other end of the camera. Turn around and you should see her. No, I'm kidding. Some of you fell for that, though. And she couldn't remember either. So if you check out her channel, she's grimacing at me. If you check out her channel, she's got a video about blue jeans and something, and it's about women's modesty. So I got to preface everything I'm about to say with a real quick remark. And I'm going to try not to go off on rabbit trails, so bear with me here for a second. So Moriah's got her own channel. We have a very, very strong, hard line we draw on the line about women teaching men. It's forbidden in the New Testament. We don't do it. So it's always been a little awkward for Moriah's videos on my channel. She always called them Women's Wednesday. I don't have that many women viewers. You know, we got a few that we value a lot. Vanessa, Biddy, and CM, and there's more who I'm going to, LS, who we didn't even know was a woman until recently. Sorry, LS. And some others, but we don't have a lot. And so it was always a little bit of an awkward fit for her videos to be on my channel, but I really like having her videos because they kind of gives me a little bit of credibility. They're like, oh, he convinced someone to go on with him in this crazy journey. Anyway, so she has her own channel. I'm not supposed to lean forward because of the light, but I can't help myself. And she talked about something that I thought was really important, but she only talked about it from the woman's perspective because that's her thing. She's never going to talk to a man. She's never going to teach a man. She's rarely going to talk to one either, by the way. If you go to her channel, she will not be interacting with men. Hardly at all. I mean, you might get like a thank you or comment or something, but she will not be interacting with men over there. And if any of you see Joshua Blessed over there, flag his comments, you creepazoid. Anyway, so she talked about women's modesty. I think I hit him, actually. I don't think anyone will see his comments. She talked about women's modesty and how there is no biblical standard for women's modesty. A woman should look to her husband for that standard. And if by some chance that her husband has a wrong standard and it does lead her into sin, it actually won't lead her into sin. That sin will fall to him and it'll be his responsibility to God. The MGTOW guys would hate this. Feminists would hate this. Most modern women in the church would hate this. Fortunately, that doesn't matter what they hate. It matters what God says. Now, let me take that rabbit trail I said I wasn't going to do real quick and take you back to the Garden of Eden because we're going there anyway. And Eve's at that tree. She's talking to that serpent, a married woman talking to a man, not her husband. Never a good idea. And what's the serpent tell her? He tells her, if you eat the fruit of this tree, you'll know the difference between good and evil, and you will be like God. Everyone says the original sin was pride. Yeah, maybe you can get there. But the original sin was wanting to declare what's right and wrong, what's good and evil. And only God gets that. So remember that. That's integral here. You can't add to or take away from the Word. And only God can declare things sin or not sin or right or laws. And if He didn't do it, you can't do it. Anyway, well, we won't go any farther than that. Okay, so now come with me to, I'm not going to do a whole theological deep dive. It got me 17 minutes in the last time or whatever it was, and I had to delete it. So here's talking to the men real quick about what Moriah talked about. You do have absolute spiritual authority in your home. No one can come into your home and make some sort of spiritual pronouncement or even tell someone what to do. There's some gray areas and some things that sin can cause you to have to compromise on. But generally speaking, a man's children and his wife are his authority and his responsibility alone. There's no, I can't go down one rabbit trail, but we heard some people talking recently who said some really stupid things. And one of the things they talked about was the authority of the church. And that is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard and has led to more heresy and apostasy than anything else possibly in the history of the faith. But no one can come in here and tell you what's right and wrong. Conversely, if something's wrong, it's your fault. It is our job to set these standards, to make these decisions, and to draw these hard lines and defend them. We have a responsibility to know what's right, or at least to be trying to know what's right. And it's not hard, man. It's not hard. As soon as you start looking in this modern day and age, when we can look up any topic, we can go to Bible Hub or any of those things and search a word or a topic and instantly be able to deep dive into the history of the word and look all where we have no excuse in this day and age in the West not to know what God says about a topic. So if you go over there and watch that video, you'll hear some things that might get you a little excited if you're a red-blooded American man, or might make you angry if you're a feminist or a MGTOW or a modern church lady, or a modern feminized man who does not want this responsibility, because this is a heavy responsibility. Lots of men don't want this duty. Lots of men don't want this duty. I am going to take a little bit of a side trip here that I shouldn't take. So this leads us to some other conclusions, and one of the conclusions this brings us to is something that most people would think men love. But when many men hear this conclusion, it is the men who we get the most violent reactions from and the most violent responses from. Many times women hear this particular point and they may get saddened, they might get angry, but they don't get like violently opposed like the men do, because it sounds good on the surface, but it has a lot of responsibilities and a lot of work and a lot of consequences and culpability for the man. And that is what feminism is about, by the way. Feminism is not about liberating women, it's about liberating men. And it has liberated men from any sort of responsibility. So if you go and watch this video and you start getting all excited about this authority you have to set this standard for your wife, and if she, because here's the thing, if you set a standard for your wife and she disobeys it, even if your standard is wrong, she's wrong for disobeying you. But if your standard is wrong and she obeys it, you're wrong, and she's completely okay. All right, and like this is the part the MGTOW guys hate. But this is what the Bible says, and like I said, I'm not doing the theological deep dive. If you want to talk about these issues, we can, and I can do more videos on it if anyone's interested. But that's my word to the men who may have seen that video. Yeah, a wife like that sounds great. A wife like that is great. Trust me, I've been married twice. My first wife was not like that, and I don't think she would consider that an insult. So if my children watch this video, I'm not insulting your mother. I think she would probably claim to not be that type of woman. But I think that's not. I don't think that's God's standard, and it seems harsh to our modern view, and it seems totally countercultural, revolutionary to what we've been taught for the last 150 years. But that's the truth. You do have spiritual authority, which means you have spiritual culpability, and you can't tell anyone that Billy Graham. You can't tell God that Billy Graham told you, or Zach the Revolting Man told you, or even Pastor Fox told you. When you come before God, He's going to say, "What did I tell you?" And you have to be able to look Him in the eye and say, "Well, this is what I think you said." And if you're even anywhere close to right, and you held the line, and you stood up, and you did your best. What's the old saying? In any situation you want to do the right thing, you'd rather not do the wrong thing, but under no circumstances can you ever do nothing. You don't have to get it exactly right out of the gate, but you got to start. So I'm repeating myself, and I just have to stop. I'm on a merry-go-round, and I can't get off. So if you go over to the Revolting Woman channel and watch this video, remember 3 things. She's not talking to you. She will never talk to you. And if you like what you see, remember, no, I won't say that. She's not talking to you. She will never talk to you. And that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Answer the call to step up to the level of husbandry that it makes it easy. No, I don't want to say that. Ooh, no, I'm straying into bad areas. I was about to blame the victim. I was about to beat down on men. I can't believe that. It is a wonderful thing. There's a flip side to that, though. There's a corollary. And yes, your wife is called to that. And your wife is called to that no matter what you do. It doesn't matter if your wife is Mother Teresa and you're Adolf Hitler. She's called to be Mother Teresa. But as high as her calling is, you have an even harder calling in some ways. And that's what I wanted to say to you, men. Hey, we appreciate you. If I came across the wrong way on this, I apologize, men. These are complex, deep deep topics that will change your life, and if enough of us get right on them, they will change our world. I honestly believe this is why our culture is dying, is because we've gotten so screwed up on this issue of the relationship between husbands and wives. And everything that's followed since, the homosexuality, the transgendered stuff, the whole alphabet soup of weirdness, and the pedophilia stuff that's coming, it all started when we screwed up husband-wife. We appreciate you, man. Thank you.